make its way into Vina at 3:20 this morning, make its way towards the Vina schools at 3:20, Old Burleson 3:24, Hodges 3:30. Now if you live a little bit farther west, it's getting there even faster. So let's go ahead and put that track up as well. There we go. If you live in Tremont Schools area, Tremont Elementary School, it's going to get to you at 3:03. That, of course, is still in Mississippi, but you know who you are. If you live in that region, you're getting fairly close. Let's pull that up. If you live in Scottsville, that's at 3:16. So we have several minutes to go get in your safe space if you live in that western portion of Alabama. The storm itself is still in Mississippi. So take this time to get in your safe space right now. I'm sure there are sirens going off. I'm sure there's a lot going on in the wee hours of the morning, but you need to be prepared. It's making its way into Old Burleson, 3:31. Hodges, 3:37 this morning. 3:43 in Old Nauvoo. Dicton, it's in 3:47. That's when it's getting to your neck of the woods. In Liberty Hill, it's going to be 3:53 for you as well. So this is a longer system. Now the tornado warning itself does expire at 3:45. However, it's been continued 3 times. So this system is a fairly strong one, and it is maintaining itself quite well. Let's put up that velocity so we can see exactly where that storm is, tracking it right here, crossing over I-22 yet again, and it's making its way north and east. So if you live in Red Bay, I would say go ahead and get in your safe space. If you live right along the Franklin-Marion County line, I would say get in your safe space. Russellville, Hackleburg, you are not yet in that tornado warning, but like we talked about, this has been continued. So if you have family in that area, wake them up. Tell them to tune into the TV. Tell them to go ahead and take a look at exactly what's happening so that should that warning get continued, they know exactly where to go and they know exactly when to get there. I'll go ahead and put that warning back for you, just so you can see who all is in it. See, it's cutting, oh, now it's including Hackleburg. In fact, still cutting just short of Russellville, however, including Hackleburg as well, crossing over I-43, and this system making its way north and east. We are seeing a pattern of 1.5 to 1 3/4 inch hail with this system as well. So there's that threat also. That's something that you need to be taking into consideration. Remember, the safest room in your house is an interior room where we're not seeing windows, where there's as many layers between you and the outside as possible, and where you're not right next to an exterior door. And that's the place where you need to go. Even in Alabama, even in Vina, even in Tremont, where the system is still in Mississippi, go ahead and get to your safe space now. Let's see if we can track that velocity tracking farther east. And there it is. That couplet is just about to cross over the Mississippi-Alabama state line. I'm sure the winds are whipping. I'm sure it's a very strong system there. I'm sure it's a very loud situation. That can be scary, but we're here with you. We're going to help you through this. This is where the storm is right now. It's about to cross into Alabama. Do not waste time. Go ahead and get into your safe space right this second and make sure that you're doing what you can to stay safe. There's that debris ball again right along the Alabama-Mississippi state line where this storm is lofting debris. And there it is. All right, let's put a storm track on this as well. If you are just joining us, I'm Way 31 morning meteorologist Grace Anello, and we do have an active tornado warning on the ground stretching from northeast Mississippi all the way into Alabama. So we're going to put a storm track on this system. That tornado warning is in effect until 3:45 this morning. It's launching 1.5 to 1 3/4 inch hail. This line has been with us for quite some time at this point. It's actually been continued in Mississippi for several hours. So this is a line that we have been tracking for quite some time. Tremont, of course, still in Mississippi, but right outside your front door. 304 getting there right now and rapidly getting ready to cross over into the Alabama side of things, making its way to Scottsville at 3:17, to Vina at 3:23 this morning. So you still have a few minutes. Go wake up the kids, grab them, grab a backpack, grab a coloring book, grab snacks, and get in your safe space right now. In Atwood, 3:33, making its way to Hodges at 3:38, Hackleburg at 3:46. Now the warning itself does go until 3:45, but it's been continued multiple times. So we'll have to see if that is continued yet again. This storm does have a history of hail, 1.5 inch hail in Marion County, up to 1 3/4 inch hail in Franklin County. Fairly strong winds on this line as well. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can check in with the National Weather Service and see what they're seeing as far as this storm goes. All right. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can take a look at this system on the velocity. What we look for in the velocity is where we're seeing that green meet the red, and it is looking like we're starting to see things track into Alabama, where we see that green, that's air coming towards the radar, where we see the red is air going away from the radar, and this is the line that we start to see that's where we could be seeing that potential tornado on the ground. Now, this one, as I understand it, is radar confirmed. It's also seeing significant hail, and it's been on the ground for quite some time. You can see there's a lot of lightning associated with this system. It's incredibly charged in our neck of the woods, and it's not going to be uncommon to see large hail as well as see those flashes of lightning through the day today. All right. Let's see if we can track that debris ball yet again. And there it is. So officially made its way into Alabama. This is that debris signature right now, just north of I-22, just sitting south of Red Bay as that tornado warning does continue. Expecting to see this line and that tornado warning become a little more fine-tuned. This is a part of a much larger system, something that we'll be tracking all day. Often people will say, well, how did the line do in Mississippi? Is it underperforming? Is it overperforming? Well, here's your answer. It's already bringing us tornado warnings, I should say, into the Tennessee Valley. So I'm going to put up a storm track on this system one more time. It's, again, tornado warning in effect until 3:45 this morning. So another 40 minutes. That means if you live on the edge of this, towards Hackleburg, towards Russellville, towards 43, you have some time to get in your safe space, but I still want you to do it. It's tracking north and east. Not a very big warning, showing us pretty much exactly where it's going. Gusty wind, large hail associated with this system. You absolutely need to get in your safe space right away. Let's see if we can see that storm again. We'll put a storm track on it and we'll track. So this line is making it into Atwood at 3:20 this morning. So you do have several minutes. I want you to go ahead and take this opportunity. Grab the kids, grab that go bag that we talked about that was so important for you to have yesterday. Make sure you go ahead and you grab snacks, grab water. You might have to go into that safe space at several points today, so you need to have those things with you, and go ahead and get there now. Don't wait for this storm to become any louder outside your door. You're going to need it right this second. It's making its way into Hodges at 3:25. Tracking into Duketon at 3:35, tracking into Belgreen Schools at 3:38 this morning. Next, this tornado warning will be in your neck of the woods at 3:39, Rockwood at 3:43. So this is a system that you have to go ahead and get in your safe space right now to make sure that you and your family are staying safe. I'm trying to communicate with the National Weather Service and see exactly what they've been seeing on this line, if they're planning on continuing the warning one more time, or if they're going to let it expire as it stands. Looking to see if we've had we've seen confirmed hail, but looking to see if we have any exact damage reports of that. And of course, we'll let you know as soon as we do. But I want you to continue to look at that line. Take a look at this track. Again, tracking east rather quickly. If we'll put up that velocity product, you're going to see this line is already making its way even further east. We've been on air for close to 20-30 minutes at this point, and it's already tracked all the way through northeast Mississippi, over 22 into our area. Let's go ahead and put that debris ball up. Now, something we were talking about yesterday, particularly in Phil Campbell areas, is take a look at this. This is where that storm is lofting debris into the upper atmosphere. It's called a correlation coefficient. All of this is rain going down. That signature is debris going up inside of what is a spinning storm. We were talking about the damage that already took place from the gusty wind we've had earlier this year, and how this is going to be not exactly a winning combination because that debris is still on the ground. That is even more reason for you to get in your safe space. I don't at all tell you that to scare you, but this is a powerful storm with hail associated and with strong and gusty winds, and it is not one that I would take lightly. So if you live just south of Red Bay, not quite Russellville, you're not in the warning at the moment. However, Hackleburg, you are, stretching all the way over to 45. Get in your safe space now. This warning is in effect until 3:45 this morning. So we've still got a little while left. You've got time, especially if you live on the eastern portion of this warning, closer to 43. Go ahead and wake the kids up now and make sure that they're getting in that safe space as we speak. All right, let's see very quickly what we're tracking. So this is, again, a part of a larger system that we're tracking all over North Alabama and southern Tennessee. Several more storms, no others tornado warned, but I am tracking heavy rain and storms in Lauderdale County, just south of Waynesboro near Iron City as well. Rotation signatures. Okay, good. So they're seeing exactly what I'm seeing with our partners over at the Weather Service. They're seeing that the rotation signature is weakening. It has not stopped, but it is weakening, looking a little less organized. The large hail rain will continue, and that's exactly what we've been talking about. Hail continuing in the area with this tornado warning. However, we're starting to see this reflectivity product become a little bit less organized. And if you've been with us for a few minutes, you can tell it's kind of sloppy now before we could see exactly where that tornado warned storm is. Let's go ahead and put that track on this and make sure that you are tracking it and know exactly when to get into your safe space. If you are just joining us, I'm Way 31 meteorologist Grace Anello, and we do have an active tornado warning for Marion, for Franklin counties in effect through 3:45 this morning. In Marion County, we've seen about 1.5 inch size hail. In Franklin County, we've seen about 1.75 inch size hail. So this is the system that you need to wake the kids up and get in the safe room. If you're thinking, oh, is that the siren? I can't hear it. It's windy. It's loud. Do we need to go? Do we not? Is it in our area? Yes, pick up the kids and go to the safe space. This storm making its way into Atwood at 3:27, so that's still just over 15 minutes from now. You have time, so go get the kids, get in that safe space. Making its way into Hodges at 3:31, Ball Rock at 3:39, Duketon at 3:41, Belgreen Schools at 3:45. This warning does expire at 3:45. However, we have had this continue. This line has been tracked all through Mississippi. At some points, it was a tornado warning, weakened, went back to a severe thunderstorm warning, went back to a tornado warning. So this has been an active cell. We do often see that when one portion of a line produces, not that this is a line, but produces a tornado, it is likely to do so again and produce that tornado warning. So I'll take that track off for you. Here's what we're looking at, talking about significant hail in this region, also talking about gusty wind in this neck of the woods. I'm trying to see if the National Weather Service has confirmed an actual wind count. There's that velocity vector that we're seeing. So we're starting to see this look a little less organized. Remember, we were talking about this lofted debris, still noticeable, still definitely there, but not quite as organized as it was just a few moments ago, especially when we track back about 20 minutes ago, not looking as organized as that is. Now, it does look like we are going to continue this tornado warning because of the 1.5 inch size hail, particularly in Franklin County. So Franklin County, of course, this system is tracking north and east, really making its way towards you in particular. We're kind of starting to see it track north and east, diminish just a little bit from the Hackleburg area, still get in your safe space, but making its way just south of Red Bay, making its way towards Russellville. Red Bay, you are not presently in that tornado warning, but I would still get in my safe space if I were you. That would still be something that I would definitely do, if for no other reason than for the lofted debris, than for the hail, than for that damaging wind as well. Let's see what the service is saying. So it looks like they're tracking winds getting even stronger with this system. They're tracking this bow right here. When we start to see forms kind of break their linear formation, this is where we start to see stronger winds. That's where we start to see even stronger forms of severe weather, and that's exactly what they're tracking. So even though that rotation of that storm was looking slightly less organized, that doesn't necessarily mean it's dying out. It just means it's changing shape. This bowing segment is telling us that winds are actually going to increase, particularly just south of Red Bay proper, particularly as you're making your way towards Vina. I do want to put another storm track on this system for everybody. It is moving quickly, so it might look like you have all the time in the world to get in your safe space, but it is tracking very, very quickly, and I do want you to go ahead and get in your neck of the woods right now, making its way towards Atwood at 3:30, towards Hodges at 3:33, towards Ball Rock School. It will be in your neck of the woods at 3:41. Tracking this system, making its way into Duketon Duketon at 3:43. Again, this particular tornado warning does expire at 3:45. However, the question will be, are they going to continue this warning, as it has been continued multiple times in the past? So it's something that we definitely need to be mindful of, something that we need to be looking at as well. All right, let's see. So we're continuing to track this line. It is moving north and east at about 35 miles an hour, and that's why you do still have time to go ahead and get in your safe space. Again, making its way to Atwood at 3:30 this morning, 3:15 right now. So go ahead and wake up the kids. Go ahead and get that go bag, get the snacks, the coloring books, whatever you need, and get in your safe space now. I'm sure it's loud, there's hail, there's gusty wind, there's plenty of flashes of lightning. Do not hesitate though. I don't tell you this to scare you, but I want you and your family to stay safe. It's going to be an active day today. Just go ahead and wake those kids up and get them in your safe room. An interior room as far away from the outside world as you can get to. No doors making their way to the outside world. Of course, no windows either. And just go ahead and hunker down. Crossing into Hodges at 3:33 this morning. Ball Rock School at 3:41. Duketon at 3:43. This particular cell has had a tornado warning at several points in its past while it was in Mississippi, and kind of died down. It was just a regular storm and went back to a severe thunderstorm, and then went back to a tornado warning. And that's what we're experiencing right now. Originally started south and west of Fulton in Mississippi, and now tracking north and east. I want to check in again with that velocity. Oh, we're seeing quarter-size hail reported from the emergency manager in Hodges, which is consistent in what we've been talking about, that 1.5 to 1 3/4 inch hail. And there we're starting to see that velocity couplet yet again, sitting right here where that green is meeting the red. Green is air going towards the radar, red is air going away from it. Where those start to meet, that's where we typically see that couplet, and that's where we are concerned for the highest and strongest portion of wind. Not seeing as significant of a debris ball of that lofted debris up into the atmosphere, and that's kind of where we were talking about. It was looking a little less organized, but those winds are staying strong. What we just showed you is the perfect example of that. Less organization in that it's not lofting quite as much, but we saw that velocity couplet. Those winds are still defined, and those winds are still really quite strong. So we have canceled the tornado warnings for the south and west in Mississippi, but we are keeping the warning for north and east in Alabama. It looks like we're going to, in a very short amount of time, cancel the tornado warning, but I do want you to know what has been issued, and that's the severe thunderstorm warning just south of it. This covering the entirety of Marion County ahead of 60-mile-an-hour winds, and again, keeping that 1.5 inch size hail. This tornado warning just in the next several minutes is likely to be pushed into a severe thunderstorm warning. However, at the moment, it is not. So if you're waking up right now and you're joining us going, do I need to get in my safe space? I would say you do, just for the next couple of minutes, if for no other reason than for that hail product, as well as for those gusty winds and lofting debris. 60-mile-an-hour winds in Marion County with this severe thunderstorm warning. However, just to the north, we're tracking that tornado warning that we've been tracking for, at this point, about 40 minutes. That's moving north and east. That tornado warning is in effect until 3:45. 1.5 inch size hail cutting just south of Red Bay, making its way towards Russellville. Phil Campbell, this is going just north of you. You saw a lot of debris the last time we had gusty winds. A lot of folks in Phil Campbell were still cleaning up their yards, still cleaning up their towns from exactly what happened last time. So this is a situation I would say you definitely want to be in your safe space for. You might not be in that warning, but those winds are coming to your neck of the woods. And with the debris that we know is already on the ground, I would say, yeah, grab the kids and get into that safe space. So the good news is that, like we talked about, the broad rotation is weakening. That's that velocity couplet that we were talking about, looking a lot less organized now than we were just a couple of minutes ago. That's what we want to see, is this look less organized and see this break down. However, what we are seeing is, thank you. What we are seeing is the flood threat starting a little bit earlier. That's because of the sheer amount of rain that we've seen with this system. We're seeing large portions of rain, large portions of hail, up to 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches of hail reported. We had an emergency manager report quarter-size hail in Hodges, and again, this storm crossing east. Now, it is making its way over several major interstates, over several roads, over 19. It's crossing its way over, making its way towards 43. Crossing just north of Hackleburg. If you live in Atwood, 324, that's in 5 minutes from now. That's when this storm is going to be in your neck of the woods. Even though we're starting to see things broaden just a little bit, we're still tracking hail. We're still tracking that gusty wind, and this is still an area that has debris on the ground from our last system. Ball Rock School, 3:35 in the morning. That is just 15 minutes from now. That's when the storm will be in your area. Duketon, 3:38. Gravel Hill School, 3:39. Making its way right up to Gravel Hill School, right up to I-49, and crossing just south of Russellville. Go ahead and get in your safe space. Again, this warning is in effect for about the next 25 minutes, and it looks like the hail component is continuing to be one of the stronger ones. We haven't seen much of that debris signature in the area. That's been weakening, which is good. That rotation is broadening, which is good. However, the storm is remaining strong, and ultimately that's why they have just replaced it with that severe thunderstorm warning. We talked about that just a second ago, that was likely to happen, and why we do that is because that means the storm isn't necessarily spinning quite as much. That's when I keep saying rotation is broadening. We're not talking about that neat organized velocity couplet, that kind of yin and yang that we sometimes see. However, what we are still seeing is those 60-mile-an-hour winds and that significant hail. Now, we are going to let you go back to sleep at this point. This is just a severe thunderstorm warning, and I want you to get your rest where you can today. It's going to be a long day. However, should this turn back into a tornado warning, we're going to come right back here on the air. So our team is here. We told you we would be. We told you we've got you covered. Be mindful of this wind. Be mindful of this hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds, 1.5 inches hail. Even though the tornado warning is gone, if you want to stay in your safe space, I say go for it. There's absolutely no harm in that. This is still a powerful system. It's just not spinning. Now, we're going to check back in with this intermittently, and should it become a tornado warning again, we're going to check back immediately. So stay posted, stay tuned with us. We're here with you throughout the day, but we're going to send you back to regular programming right now.